Uja, greetings. I am Sunu Satnam Sura. Welcome to our early morning ancient devotional dedicated to Goddess Net in all her mystic forms, gods and goddesses, who are derived from her transcendental essence. The liturgy, which you will be able to see on screen, is recited in the ancient Egyptian language, the Medu. English and Brazilian Portuguese translations is provided for you. You can see these translations on screen directly below the hieroglyphic text transliteration. You are welcome to participate by chanting along in your worship space, home, or wherever you may happen to be during the service. Or you are also welcome to listen quietly in a contemplative mode. Following the devotional Uwashu in the Kemetic language, the recitation of the liturgy and meditation in the Kemetic language practice, we will have a brief wisdom rec in the Kemetic language teaching by Sehu, leader and priest of the Karnak Temple of Net. Before we begin, please remember to mute all devices. We will now begin. Presented on the screen at the moment is a stone-carved depiction of the facing pylons of the Temple of Net from the statue of Net. On the left and right side are the pylons in which one of the symbols of Goddess Net sits atop of a papyrus standard. Her emblem is her two arrows crossed and tied to her shield. This symbolizes the protection and resurrection of the soul within this place, the temple. Behind the emblems of Net on both sides are the flags which mean netter, divinity. In the center of the pylons, at the bottom, is the opening to the temple, and above that is a pyramidal structure which symbolizes the four equilateral planes of the universe and the mystic number 4. Above that, at the very top, is the Tau hieroglyph, which means rising. It symbolizes the sun rising between the mountains, the Aket symbol, and for the initiates, the emergence of spirit consciousness. That summa culture in Jeret Nesuhati Perfect Menget Set Gary Ina Jetta Net Summa Culture in Jeret Nesuhati Perfect Menget Sumer, Vive, Jedef, Nesuber, Teki, Enget, Mert, and Hepset, Nepentine, Jerry, Bird, Hepset, and Hepnet, and I, Rin, and Jetta, and Sumer, and Third, Vive, Jedef, Nesuber, Teki, Nepentine, Enget, Mert, and Hepset, Nepentine, Jerry, Bird, Hepset, and Hepnet, and I, Rin, and Jetta, do get it to benefit to the never to get it to benefit to get it to benefit to do Eres tu buena fe, tu Jensefer a sexual kef uru nesuti atat net perkeri diri yestawa shapsi net 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 nesuti atat net perkeri diri yestawa net shapsi Netsuti Natet Netperkeri Liyaskawa Netshapsi Net Netsuti Natet Netperkeri Liyaskawa Netshapsi Net Netperkeri. Tua Shamsu in Nebuchadnezzar. Sehu in Kemenu. Dua Asa Nebresta. Baud Neteru. Atmi. Anetet Hirkukenti. Ente. Nefer. Hatu. Tentu. Ai. Tu. Anekati. Sta. Sateka Sagur. Aku Sari Nahas. Ubed Center. Set Enka. Def Sit Neter. Uni Entet. Hena Yashem Neter. Asa Erdit Endet. En Ari Heru. Hena Herme Endes. Ari Heru. Aus Uataki. Ari Sech. Ab Ua Neter. Abu Pen Asa. Abu Pen Asa. Spur and Heru. Arit Spurt. Nehasa Uajit Pa Neter. Asa Ari Heru. Hept En Ha Set. Apuyen Tuche. Medujeya Aset San Ujat. Setep Saher Amseti. And Ti Amsa Asar. Sa Amset. Asar Amset. Medujeya Nebethet. Hapsheta Ari Besa. Her happy and T Sa Asa. Sa happy Asa Hu happy. Medujeya Net Seduar. Semesha Ri Net. Ari Maket and Duamutet and T Amsa Asa. Sa Duamutet. Asar Hu Duamutet. Medujeya Serket. Inkaki Sekedet. Sa Hu Net. Ari Maket and Websunet and Pet. Amsa Asa Sa Websunet. Asa Hu Websunet. Ya Te Sheta Ya Te and Sheta Nebuchadnezzar Anatesh et Asa Putra Ma Isa Ke Setu Sa Ke Nebuchadnezzar, Anatechit Asar, Putra, Mati Sahe, Setu Sahe, Nebuchadnezzar, Anatechit Asar, Putra, Mati Sahe, Setu Sahe, Nebuchadnezzar, Anatechit Asar, Putra, Mati Sahe, Setu Sahe, Ari Jen Saker, Ari Duaker, Hekau Uashu, Ne Duane, Sefekira Senue, Ne Duane, Sefekira Senue, Ne Duane, Sefekira Senue, Ne Duane, Sefekira Senue, Mu Su Mu Su Mu Su Mu Su Om Avata Om Avata Om Avata Om Amo Avata sa, se, peru, om, sa, se, om, sa, se, peru, peru, ma, peru, peru, ma, peru, peru, ma, peru, peru, ma, peru, se, 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 tama, ye, akuja, sene, akite, ye, akuja, sene, akineteru, ne, akuja, sene, akiteru, ne, akuja, sene, akiteru, lu, bien, lu, bien, lu, lu, bien, lu, lu, bien, lu, Watu Heru, 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 Nuke Nebuchadnezzar, Nuke Nebuchadnezzar, Nuke Nebuchadnezzar, Nuke Nebuchadnezzar, Nefer and Tra Tom, Nefer and Tra Tom, Nefer and Tra and Tom, Nefer and Tra Tom, Nefer Nebuchadnezzar, 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 Emba, Nebuchadnezzar, Ua, 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 Nu, Ua, Ua, Nukma, Nukma, Ma, Nukma, 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 Newt, Asa, Sa, 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 Asa, Sa, 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 Asa, Sa, 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 Tete au, Jehu, Sena Nefu, epitu, embat, envijasu, solo anquota. Aset, ua sujamenit, nebu set, sen asa, aset etepi, suja, auitu yaso, nesheshu nebu, anpu, shemo, metu, tau se, nebu nesteta, ua menti, eruput teke, an tesu, ke, en, sefa, ha, digit, ena, asa, eta, keperu, medu, ra, nefi, asa, keperu, uahai, uaka. Luke aset, perke, nayet, ret enau seter, sa medu en Djehuty, her tet, maha, en fet, ta tert, aset neter, nefer, pu ank seske, sd, a, ment, sa enkin, pu f enet, au f, ready, netke, di, attack, ti, enet, au, uahai, uaka. Peruma, Peru, Peruma, Peru, Peruma, Peru, Peruma, Peru. Nuk Kepra, Mdu, Ne, ne, sra, ne, sra, ne, ne, sra, ne, ne, sra, Duke Kepper, and Duau, and Temu Ame Mesheri, Duke Kepper, and Duau, Ra Emma, Temu Ame Mesheri, Duke Kepper, and Duau, Ra Emma, Temu Ame Mesheri, Uahai, Uaka. Yes. Uashedi, Ua, depth up.
Puja. Greetings, everyone. One moment, please. Puja, greetings. So let me pull up what we're going to discuss. Okay. So can you all see a photograph on the screen?
Ni.
Okay, Dua. So a few months back, maybe perhaps a year now, I put a snippet of a lecture that was done from uh, the Djehuty series that we did. I recall we did like a 2 year full distillation of the Kabbalion, utilizing temple inscriptions and inscriptions from other artifacts such as coffins, etc. But it was mostly from temple inscriptions about Lord Djehuti. And someone, and then I uploaded it to this small snippet on YouTube, and someone sent a comment and said it would be nice to do a series. Uh, so I thought about it and I waited and I waited, and then I didn't hear anything negative from the person, so I presume that they're waiting also. So for that patient, uh, I will provide a distillation on the panel, and you'll see what we'll do. The panel comes from the Hypostyle hall of the Karnak Temple. And as I zoom in, this is a segment of the panel that the person was interested in. And you have two primary figures. Here you have Lord Djehuty, and here you have a goddess. And I'll let you know who this goddess is when we get to her. So you have two primary divinities. And the inscriptions that are related to this scene are all around this scene. And you'll see what we'll do, how I delineated it. And you see Djehuty, he's doing something special. He has a cloth, he has a sanctified cloth, white linen, and he's stretching it out. And basically, he's uh he's measuring the universe. And he can do that because he is because when we're talking about Lord Djehuty, this is a big topic. It's not something small. It's vast. Like I said before, we did a 2 hour 2 year, sorry, 2 year presentation on just this one divinity alone and everything. Not everything, but the primary focus at that time was the Kabbalion utilizing uh, temple inscriptions. So when we're working with, so because these are designed to be short distillations of a topic, we certainly can't do a full immersive presentation. But what we can do is do sort of an extended distillation. So it will go on for a while, and you'll see there's a lot to Djehuty, and there's a lot to this goddess as well. And she says she makes some very profound statements. And so since she is the finale, she is the grand finale at the end of the play, we're going to save her for last because she's going to shock some of you with some of the things that she has to say. So this is on the south wall of the Hypostyle Hall at Karnak Temple, as referred to as Karnak Temple. It's, in ancient times, it was referred to as Ipit. And it's on the west portion of the south wall of the Hypostyle Hall. Here is some more. You can see the large pylons. And if you've ever been in a Karnak temple, you know that the pylons are huge. It's like being in a forest. That's what it's replicating anyway. Being in the papyrus swamp is you are Heru in the papyrus swamp, being protected against the enemy of untruth and delusion, unrighteousness. And so let's go to the presentation and start our deep discussion. I'll close this out and go here. Okay, can you all see the presentation on the screen? It's a PDF file.
Neat.
Okay, fantastic. Duo. So here we have the same picture again. And you can see Lord Djehuty is stretching out. You can see his one leg is in front of the other. His arms are stretched out. And he's stretching and measuring the length and breadth of the universe that he projected from his own cosmic reasoning. So a thought arose, like, what would the universe be like? So the universe is an idea, a thought in the cosmic mind of Djehuty. So for example, if you can imagine the first person, it is told that Imhotep is the architect of the first stone pyramid, of the step pyramid. Well, you can imagine him sitting down, reasoning out in his mind, making sketches, et cetera, et cetera. And so that's what Djehuty is doing. He's reasoning out in his mind what the universe would be like or should be like. So the moon goes here, the sun goes here, the stars goes here, the Milky Way goes here, Big Dipper goes there, et cetera, et cetera. The souls, the people, they go there on the earth, et cetera, et cetera. And so what we're going to do is we're going to do these 17 lines. So we won't do the whole panel, but we'll do a nice portion of it because this panel, this section is actually a section of a greater panel. It's a huge panel, but so we're taking like you can say like the chapter out of a book instead of the whole book, but we're going to focus on this chapter. And in this chapter, we're going to focus on this area in this chapter, in this book. So we're going to do these 17 lines and we're going to do them in the order they're numbered because that's how the text is supposed to be read. And there's some technical issues that details for us why that should be. In other words, we're not doing these 17 lines in a random manner. There's some technical issues in the text that gives us, that shows us that this is how the text is to be read. This is me when we did a spiritual journey trip to Kemet. I wasn't the leader of the trip. And of this trip. It was with the SEMA Institute. And I'm here displaying and pointing out Lord Djehuty. I was asked to do this to show it was like a walkthrough of a of the temple initiatory narrative. And and so I'm gesturing to Djehuty here. Yeah, this is me, very dark skin to see in the dimly lit temple. And Djehuty is, and this is a very detailed panel. So I'm just showing that to demonstrate to you all and viewers who may see this, that these presentations that I do, they come from in the field, yeah, a process, not just visiting the temples, walking through the temples, studying the text, that kind of thing. So researching into the text, etc. So now we're going to start with line one. And I think that's all we'll have time for. I wanted to do lines one and two, but line one, to get started, to get the train moving, it's heavy lifting. So line one text reads, Meruje and Djehuty neb Kemenu niwud. These following words pertain to Lord Djehuty, the cosmic mind who is known as Hermes to the Greeks and Thought to the Romans. He who is the chief deity of the city of Kemenu, the city of the 8 gods and goddesses, Nun and Nunet, Hu and Huhet, Kuk and Kuket, Amun and Amunet, of which he presides over and projects the material aspects of these divine principles through his cosmic mind nature to appear in the realm of time and space. This city is in the spiritual nation of Comet. And here, so I asked AI to generate a map of ancient Kemet, ancient Egypt, showing the city of Kemenu. So his main city is Kemenu. He's the Lord of Kemenu. And Kemenu is almost dead center in between Lower Egypt and Upper Egypt. So this is what would be referred to as Upper Egypt. And this will be Lower. And almost in the dead center of it is the city of Kemenu, and this is Djehuty's city. He is the chief deity of this city, and he has 8 followers who had Kokoket, Amanamenet, Nununet. And these, to go through those 8 divinities in detail is a huge study in and of itself. That's what I was saying. When you're talking about Lord Djehuty, is a vast subject. The term Kemenu means eight. So Kemenu Niwud, eight cities, so city of the eight. And the eight is referring to the eight gods and goddesses. Oops. Mm. The eight gods and goddesses. So the term Kemenu is made here. Kem and Nu with the eight horizontal strikes. And the term city, Niwud, is made here. Niwud, Niwud. So the eight gods and goddesses. And there's a particular technology that was utilized here to arrange these glyphs in this manner. Yeah, and we don't have time to go into it, but there's a nuance, a very specific, subtle nuance that was used by the sages. So he's the main divinity of the city of Kemenu. Here's his name in the text, Djehuty. Here, Djehuty. So Djehuty, Neb. The Neb is there's some damage, so a piece of the glyph was broken off. But when you get into these things for a long time, you pretty much know what's going on. So the term Neb is here, and you can see piece of the glyph here. And the toppermost portion, which will go here, is destroyed. So Djehuty Neb Kemenu Niwut. And therefore he presides over these eight divinities. From the Book of the Amduat, Volume 2, as it is, Mysteries of Rastal and the Ancient Egyptian Mystic Path to God Consciousness, by this speaker, the one who is talking now, giving this lecture. The eight principles of Lord Djehuty. Noon, and each of these principles, each of these names are associated with a certain particular kind of principle. So Nun, unformed matter, Nunet, formed matter. So the male aspect is without the ET. And the female aspect is the ET. So for every male, you have a female. Hehu, spirit, Hehuet, spirit manifest. Kuki, darkness, Kukiet, light. And this shouldn't be taken in from the perspective of darkness of ignorance. This is a different kind of darkness. There's a kind of darkness in the mind that acts like an opacity that when you move through, you experience a higher spirit-like consciousness. But it's not the darkness of ignorance. It's a kind of a darkness of a shroud. And if you remain in that darkness, it reveals the spirit light consciousness behind it. So it's not an ultimate attainment, but it is a movement towards. Amun, that which is hidden, and Amunet, that which is revealed. So Amun is the hidden spirit reality that is behind what is manifest. And therefore, when that spirit nature is realized, that is Amunet. That's the revelation of the higher consciousness, the removal of the shroud of darkness, of ignorance. And a specific mention is made of Djehuty in the book of the Amdua. In the nomenclature that was produced that I had to create for this text, this is MP6, so Metaphysical Process 6, the 14th line of this metaphysical process. It's like the 14th section of this area of the text, line 33. It says, Djehuty Kenti Nebdua. Djehuty holds a and for this text for the volume 2, I added glosses because when I was going through the text, I realized that the because there's because of how the text is arranged that you just can't you won't just get it by doing the translation. It has to be extrapolated upon because we're using English language to explain things. So the gloss to this line, Djehuty holds a special place among the deities of the Dua because of his function as the bestower of the eye of intuitional realization. The goddess, talking about this specific goddess of this area of the Amduat, her name is Ament. The goddess makes a bold claim, and this is in alignment with the goddess that is standing behind Djehuty in the great hypostyle hall. He's stretched out and she's standing behind him with her hands in this manner. So it's directly related. The goddess makes a bold claim, stating that she leads the spiritual servants to unfabrication. She does this on what Djehuty has given to her, cosmic intellect. And Heru in MP4, the vindicator of the soul, can only do so because Djehuty restores his eye of inner vision. Therefore, Djehuty is preeminent. Then the term preeminent is coming from the term Kenti, which means foremost or chief. Thus, Ament is working her supernatural magic on the initiates through Djehuty's power of cosmic mind. And since she is intimately related to Amun, the hidden consciousness, she brings that inner vision of unfabrication to the initiate. So in other words, she reveals to the initiate the inner vision of what the eye represents that Djehuty is giving. When Djehuty gives the eye, he's giving intuitional vision, and she's revealing what that intuitional vision is. What she needs from Djehuty is the power of intellect to lead, as he is a quintessential spiritual preceptor. So Djehuty, here's his name. And this is coming from a segment of the chest of Tutankhamun. So Djehuty, Djehuty. And this term here, Kenti, means preeminence. So Djehuty, and then following that, to make it, here's the term. So here is Neb. So divinity or Lord. So preeminent divinity of the Duat. So Lord Djehuty. So when the text tells us that these words pertain to Lord Djehuty, and we have to find, well, what does Lord Djehuty represent? Why is this text pertaining to him? What about Lord Djehuty that this text is referring to him? So we learned that his main city is Kemenu. He is the Lord of Kemenu, the main deity of Kemenu. And he presides over these eight opposites, these eight divinities, these eight dualities. And we also know that he is the preeminent divine of the Duat. Djehuty is also and this is found in Medinat Habu Temple. And it tells us that Djehuty is actually the three times great. If you've heard the saying, Djehuty thrice greatest, it comes directly from the ancient Egyptian scriptures, the Kemetic scriptures. And here, let me show you. It tells us once again that Djehuty is the Lord of the main divinity of Kemenu. And here it tells us he is the scribe of Ma'at, who is three times great. So Neter A Kemtu. See how they wrote the text is they have three A symbols, meaning three times great. And what you're to do is then what does three mean? The word for three is Kemtu. So Djehuty the three times great, who is the scribe of Ma'at, who is the Lord of the divine words. And one other thing we learn about Djehuty is that trip I was telling you about, that we went to the spiritual pilgrimage, learned this about Lord Djehuty. You have three lines of text, but the important line is line 2. Again, it tells us Djehuty is the Lord of Kemenu in line 1. Says some other things as well. But in line 2, it states, Smai Tawi NNK Nisut Bid Tejet Tawi M Makiru. Egyptian yoga is bestowed upon thee to bring about the mystic higher consciousness realization through the spiritual process of union of the higher and lower self, in which the lower self is realized to be illusory, and thus one discovers the mystic reality that is the basis of all temporal appearances. And thus this Egyptian yoga is given to you for spiritual enlightenment. So and this is from the temple of Seti the One in Abydos. And what it's telling us is that the whole program of spiritual evolution has been bestowed upon the initiate, had been given to us by Lord Djehuty. So in other words, Lord Djehuty has given humanity yoga. The whole process, the whole 4 aspects. And the Kemetic ancient Egyptian yoga, there is also a posture system as well. So all of that is Djehuty's work. All the philosophy, the wisdom, the devotion, the meditation, all of that has been bestowed by Djehuty. So we're going to stop here for today. As you can see, it's a vast subject, and we're going to do more with it next. We're going to do line 2 next week and shore up line 1. Okay. If there are any questions, you can send it in the email. And also, you can, for these kinds of lectures, you can give donations. If you go on the Kemetic Yoga Association website, there's a donate button. You can go there because what we're going to do is more than what is usually done, to give it a good treatment. Okay. Nasudihate net perkedo. Dirieska uab amuneb nefeshepsi. Het net hate. Djehuty. Djehuty. Dua Djehuty. Hete. Dua Hete.